Delta Force told they have to do transgender sensitivity training, respond with something better. Sensitivity training, that sounds so nice, the idea that we should all be nice to one another. Making sure that people who are fragile or in some way less able to cope with the world have the emotional space to be what they want to be. Where that thought process breaks down is when what a person is changes from day to day, and when what is expected of them can't. This is the case in the United States military, where following orders has to take precedent over what you feel at that moment. While you may be of the opinion that a person's gender is a fluid thing and it could fall somewhere along a sliding scale, which seems to be the popular school of thought these days, I think you can still agree that making allowances for that should end somewhere before we put the country in danger over it. The military being a part of the U.S. government doesn't mean that it should be a safe haven for someone who wants to exact social change by causing upheaval in the lives of our military personnel. If your personal journey includes surgeries and requires massive amounts of makeup and talking about feelings, it's possible that the Special Forces aren't for you. By Independent Journal Review. All soldiers in the U.S. Army are now required to take a 50-minute training course on transgender sensitivity. Independent Journal Review wanted to know what veterans who have trained thousands of soldiers to fight in combat think about the news. We spoke with U.S. Army Master Sergeant, retired, and Delta Force operator Dale Comstock. Comstock has seen more war than the average American can wrap their head around. In fact, he's served in every major campaign from Grenada in 1983 to present-day conflicts. Comstock said, "This whole political social experiment is not helping. The reality is, it's in the Army, it's in the Navy, it's in the military. And unless Mattis and Trump rescind all these policies and stop this madness, it's here to stay. It affects morale and combat readiness on many levels. At the end of the day, war fighting is about one thing, killing people. It's about bringing home our guys alive. It's not about being sensitive to a transgender. This isn't corporate America, this is the military. You can't just put some policy in place because you want people to feel equal. Most guys who joined the military, especially Special Operations Forces, were the boys who had dirt-clawed fights on the playground, wrestled and fist-fought, stole each other's girlfriends, and pledged allegiance to the flag. And that same spirit and apex predator mindset goes with us into the military." Comstock explained how policies to be more sensitive to others are affecting our guys overseas. "I was in Afghanistan working for a government agency. And this one guy was there with us in the middle of a war zone, but he hadn't gone through his equal opportunity training. So they flew a bird out to get him in the midst of a war zone. That type of thing can immediately give away our position to the enemy." He shared a story with IJR about a female soldier who got shot in Afghanistan and another team member who went back to get her instead of winning the firefight. They were out on patrol, and this female soldier caught a bullet under her body armor. It's standard in the military that if you have a casualty, the best way to help that casualty is to win the firefight. But this guy instead decided to help the female soldier. He wanted to make sure she was okay. And guess what? He caught a bullet to the brain and dropped dead right there. Comstock emphasized how war brings on a storm of different feelings and emotions, but you can't let those things control your capability, effectiveness, and readiness. Look, we are all about helping one another and being there for our brothers. We bleed in the trenches together. We stick our fingers in each other's bullet holes to stop the bleeding. We know each other in some respects better than we know our own families. We are a close-knit group. But now you throw this transgender thing into the mix. And soldiers are going to worry about offending others instead of just doing their jobs.